Even though it's been a few weeks, I might as well do one of these for the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Direct as well. Also, I really badly want to talk about this game, and this is my excuse to do it. This is going to be a little bit different than the last Ups and Downs video. This isn't a traditional Direct where they showcase a whole bunch of games. This Direct only showcases one game. So basically, I'm going to be giving a thumbs up to things that I liked in this Direct, and a thumbs down to things that I didn't like in this Direct. So the Direct starts, and I immediately have to give a thumbs up to the visuals. Everything in the background and the foreground is beautiful. It has a level of detail that I would expect in a Donkey Kong Country game. It's still very similar to the new Super Mario Bros. Style. However, it just looks so much better and so much more unique in a way that I can't even really describe properly. After I posted this video, a lot of people got the wrong idea about my feelings regarding the new Super Mario Bros. Games. I grew up with these games and I love them, but there are 5 of these games, 6 if you count the Wii U port, and they're all identical to each other. You could be the biggest fan of new Super Mario Bros. In the world, but even you have to admit that 5 games that are exactly the same one after another is a bit ridiculous. Well, unless you're a Pokemon fan. But it's not just the way the levels look, it's the characters. Every single character, even the minor enemies and the poplins, they're all so expressive, and their designs are perfect. I love all of the redesigns. It is the perfect evolution of 2D Mario. And speaking of 2D Mario, to this day, I've always felt that Super Mario World has never gotten a proper successor. I've always felt like the new Super Mario Bros. Games more or less emulated the Super Mario Bros. 3 style. But this game feels like a true proper successor to Super Mario World, and I'll explain why as we go along. The next thing that they showcase is the story. Personally, I wanted a story where some brand new villain was controlling Bowser or something like that, but that is not the case. The story goes that Mario and friends are invited to the Flower Kingdom by Prince Florian. The fact that we're not exploring the Mushroom Kingdom is very much appreciated, and it's very reminiscent of Super Mario World's story, where instead of exploring the Mushroom Kingdom, we're exploring Dinosaur Land. Then Bowser gets the Wonder Flower and turns into Bowser's castle. Past Mario games have had Bowser get some magical item that makes him super powerful, and then we have to go to his castle to stop him. However, this time, Bowser turns into the castle, and there are some interesting implications for that I'll get to later. Even though this isn't the story that I exactly wanted, this is unique enough to warrant a thumbs up. The next thing that they show off is the worlds throughout the game. This section of the presentation is a little bit weird. At first they say there's only 6 worlds, but then the map shows that there's 7 worlds, but there's possibly even 8 or 9 worlds. There's probably a Bowser's Castle world where we go inside Bowser, and there's probably an extra secret world after we beat the game. Speculation aside, the worlds that they show off look really interesting. The first world is called Pipe Rock Plateau, and there's no doubt about it, this is the most unique starting world in any 2D Mario game. It looks like this first world is combining a grassland theme with a mountain theme and maybe even a jungle theme. It's the same story for World 2, Fluff Puff Peaks, which combines a snow-themed world and a sky-themed world. This idea of combining different world themes to create bigger worlds overall is really cool, like the Petal Isles, which combines a water-themed world with a cave-themed world. It also appears as if the Petal Isles is a world that connects all the other worlds in the game together. This implies that you might be able to complete each world in any order that you want. The last world that they showed off was Shining Falls, and I don't even know what this world is supposed to be. In fact, there were quite a few locations that I've never seen in a 2D Mario game before. And even the more generic level themes that they showed off here look like they all have some kind of twist that's gonna make them fresh. I can already tell that there's going to be so much variety in the levels, which is one of the best things a 2D platformer can have. So the world themes get a big thumbs up from me. The uniqueness of the worlds reminds me a lot of Super Mario World once again, because Super Mario World introduced so many unique level themes that we had never seen before, some of which we've never seen since. A Mario game hasn't had a proper caved-themed world since Super Mario World. It looks like Super Mario Bros. Wonder has an interconnected map, just like Super Mario World. Once again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record in this video. I want to talk about some of the things that you can do on the world map. I believe that the Mario game with the best world map was Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario World's map is pretty cool, but Mario Bros. 3 had so many unique mechanics on the world map. In that game, you could get items that could only be used on the world map, which could be used to avoid confrontations or find extra item houses. Mario Wonder looks like it's probably gonna have my favorite world map out of any of the 2D Mario games. There's these little interactive sections where you can freely roam around and do the levels in any order you want in that area, as well as go to Poplin shops to buy things. We're also able to go into a menu and select any level we want, and we're instantly teleported there. I despised having to run around the world maps in the older 2D Mario games, so this is very much appreciated. This gets a thumbs up. Next, they show off the talking flowers.
I wonder what Goombas taste like.
And this is probably one of the most controversial parts about this game. In the levels, you're going to be able to interact with talking flowers. It does appear as if these flowers will kind of act as little side missions in the levels, as I've seen some gameplay where you have to save them or water them with the elephant power-up. However, none of that has been confirmed yet. What has been confirmed is that the general public hate these flowers. I honestly couldn't care less about them, but when so many people say that they don't like this, I think I have to give this a thumbs down. I'd be willing to give this a thumbs up if I felt more strongly about it. Next up is how the characters play. Now, there are a ton of playable characters in this game. Character variety is a good thing, and the selection here is great. I would have liked to see Wario and Waluigi, but I was a fool for thinking that. Mario, Luigi, Daisy, Peach, and the Toads all play the same. I have seen some people say that they don't like this, but I actually like this better. This makes it way more accessible for people to just pick the character that they want to be. In Super Mario 3D World, Peach is overpowered, so there's no reason to never pick her. Same story with Super Mario Bros. 2. All the other characters are inferior to Peach. Here, people can just play the game without having to worry about whether or not they're handicapping themselves. Besides, this game actually provides a better alternative to this that I'll discuss later. So this gets a thumbs up. What gets a thumbs down is what they did to Yoshi. Yoshi and Nabbit are relegated to an easy mode, where enemies can't hurt them and the only way they can die is by falling in a pit or falling in lava. It makes sense to relegate Nabbit to an easy mode because, well, it's established that's what he is, and he's not a popular character. However, Yoshi is a beloved character, and this is going to turn off many people from playing as him, including me. I can confidently say that I'm never going to be playing as Yoshi in this game, which really sucks. So yeah, that's my first legitimate criticism of this game. Thumbs down.
Neat objects.
Thumbs up. Next, they go into the new enemies. I'm not going to go into as much detail here, however, it's really cool that most of the enemies in this game are gonna be brand new. At least it looks that way. We even have new variations of existing enemies. Something that very much reminds me of Super Mario World, which was a game with mostly new enemies, and the enemies that did return got new variations. We are exploring a new world after all, so there should be different enemies. The names of a lot of these enemies crack me up too. These enemies just look really cool, and it looks like they're integrated into the level design in a really clever way. Thumbs up. Next, they show off power-ups, and I immediately have to give a thumbs up because the power-ups, at least the new ones, look incredible. We obviously have the returning Star and Fire Flower, and those are always a good time. However, it's the 3 new power-ups that look incredible. The Elephant power-up just looks like a good time. It's standard for each Mario game to have some kind of animal transformation. Usually these animal transformations are speed-based power-ups, or flying-based power-ups. However, this one looks as if it's gonna be mostly used for attacking enemies. And there's tons of secondary uses with this power-up. I mentioned watering flowers before, but you can also break bricks easier and take advantage of your size. I don't know what that means, but it's probably going to have a lot of uses in the actual game. Next is the bubble power-up, which definitely looks like a speedrunner's power-up. This power-up essentially works as a better ice flower. I was never the biggest fan of the ice flower, however this looks like it's going to be much more fun to use. You can attack enemies through walls and kill enemies that are impervious to fireballs. You can also bounce on the bubbles that you create to reach higher platforms or potentially find game-breaking areas. This is the most simple of the 3 power-ups, however its simplicity could offer a lot of depth. Last is the drill power-up, and as someone who grew up with Mario Galaxy 2, this one hits home. It's a drill power-up. It's as simple as that. You can drill through the ground, you can drill on the ceiling, which is really cool. You can break specific blocks designed for the drill power-up, and it looks like there's going to be tons of secrets to find with this power-up. This power-up reminds me of the spike hat for Mario Maker 2, where any enemy that drops down on you will be destroyed. And those are the power-ups. They all look great. But the best part about this game is the wonder effects. Once again, I'm preemptively giving this segment a thumbs up before I talk about it. Basically, in every level you can get a wonder flower, and the wonder flower will cause a wonder effect, which can change the level into anything. This gives so much variety to a game that already looks like it has tons of variety in it. This is another one of those things where I just don't even know how to describe it. Like, I can't comprehend what I'm looking at it. It's just so wonderful. Just the fact that each wonder flower does something different to a level makes the game more exciting than it would already be. For a 3rd time in a row, I'm going to be giving a segment a thumbs up before it starts. The badges are my most hyped thing about this game. I love games where you can unlock new abilities along the way, and especially games that have challenge levels for those abilities. These abilities look like they're so much fun to use. I love that this game is taking into account both playstyles of people who play 2D platformers. The people who go slow to collect all the collectibles, and the people that go fast to learn speedrunning or just beat the game as fast as possible. It looks like the game takes both of these playstyles into account. I really like that you have to collect currency to buy the badges. With how many coins you collect in Mario games, it's weird that you never use them to buy anything, aside from Mario Odyssey. There's almost like a Mega Man vibe that I'm getting from these badges. In Mega Man, you get different weapons based on what order you complete the levels in. Some weapons are great for specific levels. It can work the same way here, where there's some badges that are really good for some of the levels. It also appears like there's secrets where you specifically need these badges to find them, which I really appreciate. I love secrets in 2D platformers. Just from the little bit of footage that we see in this presentation, it looks like this game does have a heavy emphasis on exploration, just like Super Mario World. And one of my biggest problems with Super Mario World was the timer. Think about it. Mario World is a game that's very much focused on exploration, yet there's a time limit for each of the levels, which just makes no sense. Here, you get as much time as you want to explore the levels, so I'll give that another thumbs up. The next thing they talked about was multiplayer, and it looks greatly improved from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. One thing here is that now you can't collide with other players, so now you can actually work as a team without falling over each other's asses. And if a player dies, they turn into a ghost, and if another player touches the ghost, then the person comes back to life without the group losing any lives. The biggest problem I have with multiplayer and 2D platformers is that it's so much easier to die, so you just drain through all of your lives very quickly. So I cannot stress how much of an improvement this is. This segment gets a thumbs up from me. And one last thing that they talk about, online. Nintendo has online? In all seriousness, the online is a little bit strange. There's sort of online multiplayer, but then there also kind of isn't. When you go in online mode, you will see shadows of other players as they play the game alongside you. You can interact with these players by touching them when they're ghosts to revive them, giving them power-ups, and sending them messages. You can also buy standees in Poplin shops to place in levels so that other people can use them to revive themselves when they turn into ghosts. And you earn heart points by doing this. What do heart points mean? Well, they didn't tell us, so I'm assuming they just mean nothing and it's a number that has no meaning. This is kinda cool, but what's much better is that you can create rooms to play levels with your friends, and you can do races with people. I really like this aspect of the online mode, so I will give this a thumbs up, even though I have seen mixed reactions about the online, so this is a bit of a questionable thumbs up, but a thumbs up nonetheless. And that was the presentation, and as you can see from the thumbs up to thumbs down ratio, I'm really fucking excited for this game. I always tried to imagine what a brand new, modern evolution of 2D Mario would look like, and this is exactly what I would think of. This game does things that no other 2D Mario games can do. Overall, this was a great presentation that showed off such strong aspects of this game. I truly believe that anyone that watched this direct is now hyped for this game, just as I am. My only complaint about the presentation is that they didn't show off any boss fights. Which is strange, because I did hear somewhere that the bosses in this game were really good and that they were going to be shown off in the presentation, so that's odd. But other than that, this game gets a big thumbs up from me. And the main takeaway from this presentation should be,
Peach? Daisy?
what the hell have you done, Nintendo?
She kinda bad though.